Sexy D here, coming to you all, on my red sofa. I wanted to come and talk to you all about loneliness and my experience with this topic. No, it's not a joke. It's rather serious, and I hope this video will help those of you who have went through this, are going through this. So if you want to hear more, then let's get started. So let me first define what I feel loneliness and what loneliness is and the difference between loneliness and being alone. I would say that one of them deals with a state of being and another one deals with your thoughts and your feelings, okay? Alone is the one that would be more so a state of being. I'm alone talking to you all, to this camera, whereas loneliness is something that's a feeling you may have when you're alone, but you can also feel lonely when you're around others. I just kind of wanted to distinguish the two because I know that some people will definitely think it's the same, and unless you've gone through a period of loneliness, you might think that it's the same. Some people's reactions may be, you seem to be extra bubbly and outgoing, you obviously got some friends, so according to the videos, to your previous videos where you had friends in your videos, so what's up? How are you feeling lonely? Another thought may be, go be around those friends. Then you won't be lonely. Again, being lonely and alone is two different things. When I'm alone, I can be around people, I won't be alone anymore. Doesn't mean I won't be feeling lonely. I think I know part of the loneliness that I have felt comes from this big adjustment. The big adjustment from going from student to employee. It was more of a challenge for me than I had anticipated. I knew that work was going to be something that I was not really going to care for, but I did not anticipate the feelings of anger and loneliness. Feeling itself is rather a sad, depressed, melancholy type of mood, feelings that you have. For me, when I was around other people, what was going through my head was, you are going to be alone after this. And being alone to some people is okay. Being alone to me is perfect. I live alone, and I am now adjusted, or I'm like 80% adjusted. The reason I felt that being alone was not okay was because I had never been alone. Never. Either living with parents, having some roommates. I was never alone not even alone, but I guess also away from my comfort zone as a whole. College, school was a comfort zone. That's where I took part in a lot of activities that made me feel like I was growing, and going from that to a period of time where I actually felt like I was declining, like my intelligence was I was losing it. I was at the same time losing my mind, and so I felt like being alone was bad because school and everything was my comfort zone. I knew what school was, I knew that the class may have been hard, but it was going to be over in 10 weeks. I knew that. With being alone, I never done it. I didn't know when the loneliness would end, and it lasted a good 4 months. It actually kind of revved up when I moved into my own place. I remember having conversations in the beginning where people would ask me, how is it living alone? I feel like I'd be lonely. That's what they say to me. And I tell them, I would be straight up and say I do get lonely. Definitely. I actually had this period of time or not period of time, but I had a breaking moment. I had a moment that said, this is really serious and you need to go speak to someone because this is consuming your life, your mind, your body, your soul. You're not able to function properly. You need to do something about this. And that moment was it was late at night, and at my work we have a gym that's 24 hours. And so I was like, let me just go and work out and try to get this off my mind. I go to work out. It's no one there. It's really late, and I'm on this hamstring of this hamstring machine where, you know, you lay down and then you pull your legs up, whatever. I'm on this machine and my mind is just racing. It's like alone, alone, alone. And remember, alone for me is bad. So bad thoughts are going on in my head, and then my thoughts are making me feel really sad, and I just burst. I'm crying, I'm breaking, I literally do not know what to do. And so I call my mom, tell her, hey, can I come over and spend the night? It was like either, I think it was a Wednesday or Thursday, and I was like, can I spend the night? You know, I couldn't do it. I needed to go back to a place where I knew, where everybody knows your name. No, but seriously, that's what it felt like. I needed to go to a place where everybody knew my name. I needed to go to a place of comfort. Home was that for me. Thankfully, I live relatively close to home, so if I do have those situations, I can go back home. And I remember I was just crying. I was really out of it. And, you know, my dad finally fessed up to me, hey, you know, I've went through this in my life before. He was saying that he went through that period of loneliness, and, you know, he was just trying to fill his time. And I'm just looking at him like, why didn't you tell me this was going to happen? Why doesn't anybody warn you about the stuff that's about to happen after you graduate? So this is why they say that college is the best years of your life. Because you don't have these feelings, or at least I didn't have these feelings when I was in school. Things were challenging, but things were also fun. My friends were there, you know. So I'm at my parents' house, and I'm just really, I am exhausted. I am mentally and emotionally exhausted. If I go back some, when I came home from work, I went home to an apartment where I was by myself. When I went to work, I was pretty much by myself because a lot of my coworkers sit elsewhere at a different site in a different city. And just being at my parents' house, feeling that love and that comfort, and just, it was something that I needed to be in a familiar place, because feeling lonely was not a familiar emotion. I didn't know how I was going to get through it. So that was my breaking moment right there in the gym when I was crying and I needed to spend the night at my dad. It was just, I need to go see a therapist. You know, I need to go speak to someone who is going to help me out of this. Around the same time, I was, and I still am, a part of what's called the Unlost E-course. And during that course, one of our assignments was to track your aliveness. Aliveness being times that you feel alive, happy, you know, free. I doubted that I was ever going to have those emotions. You know, I was feeling very lonely, miserable. I was like, I'm not going to have feelings of being alive. And I'm not going to notice any patterns when I write these things down. End of the week, I write stuff down. I wrote stuff down. And I noticed that I feel most alive when I'm in my room, in my apartment, you know, by myself, listening to music. And something in me really clicked when I saw that pattern. Something in me said, you know what? It is okay to be alone. Being alone is not a bad thing. And as soon as that clicked for me, you know, as soon as I took my advice from my therapist, 180, not 360. I hate when people say that. Anyways, 180. I signed up for a gym membership. I've been going 6 days a week since. And I won't lie, I've had worries that, you know, it's going to return. And that maybe I shouldn't count my eggs, chickens, whatever. I shouldn't count my eggs before they hatch. Chickens before they hatch. Whatever the phrase is. Not, just not be too optimistic about things. At the same time, I don't want to tell myself, oh, the loneliness is going to come back, and it comes back because that's what's in my mind. So I'm definitely grappling with it. And my advice to you all out there who is going through this is speak to a therapist. My therapist particularly, she told me, just speaking to her helped, honestly. I spoke to her twice, and the second time she gave me, some steps to take, but I haven't needed to take those steps because I haven't been feeling crappy. Just talking to her, getting it out, and just, I don't know, something was very therapeutic about it. Overall, I am feeling a lot better now. A lot better. It was the worst feeling ever. Pretty much. I mean, that was probably the lowest point in my life, honestly, was feeling that loneliness, because I just remember crying myself to sleep at night and thinking that it was never going to end, and that I had lost interest in things too. I had lost interest in fashion and, doing my makeup. Things that I used to love to do, I noticed myself losing interest in them. And so, again, it's a lot better. Definitely a lot better. I did some recordings and journal logs of when I was feeling that way, because I really wanted to remember, hey, if this blows over, I need to know how I felt back then, so I can know how I dealt with it, so I can give people advice on it, so I can tell them my experience. So, kind of a long video, but, this is definitely something that I wouldn't take lightly. If you're feeling lonely, you're not on your own. I too have felt that way. And yeah. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. I know that this video is going to be long-winded, kind of, when I edit it. So again, thank you for watching. I hope it helped 1, 2, or 500 of you, or, even if it didn't help, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Bye.